What's up, y'all? Manny Carrera, your real estate resource, and this is episode number 36 of Whiskey Wednesday podcast sessions, where we sit with entrepreneurs, influencers, movers, shakers, and lovebirds. It just made out. Today's a really special episode. I'm super excited because this episode's long overdue. I was trying to make it one of the first 5 episodes, and they wouldn't let me. But today they were forced to do it. So, with that being said, I'd like to introduce my guests for today. These people are not only some of my friends, but they're also my business partners and my marketing team. They do a lot of behind the scene work that a lot of people don't get to see unless you're checking out our vlog or Whiskey Wednesday. Super excited to have you guys on. We are going to be sitting with the Sosas. What is up, y'all?
Hey,
hello.
what's
Cheers.
up?
Cheers.
Cheers.
We are not drinking whiskey either. This is a super unique episode. Right?
It's wine.
Yeah, we decided to go with wine. We like drinking wine more, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's an art. And
It's an art.
It's an art.
Why?
Because
Why Violet? I think like you drank wine before the podcast. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Well, I did.
Just kidding. Yeah, you did. We actually used to down bottles at Cafe Italia, right?
It was like a tradition.
Oh my gosh,
you would
every Wednesday.
interview a guest, we would produce it, and we're done. Let's go celebrate at Cafe Italia.
Yeah.
Stuff our
That's good.
face and get wasted with
Oh
some
my
grapes.
gosh.
But
One glass is all we need, right? We're lightweights, so
You
Manny
never
got
keep
really
up with
wasted.
Manny. Yeah.
I'm an alcoholic apparently. So, really excited to have you guys on. Obviously, some people have heard me mention the Sosas,
Mm-hmm.
but today we actually have you guys behind the mic and
know.
on camera.
Yes,
So,
we're excited.
that being said, take advantage, and first, let's start by you guys telling us who you are and what you do.
Well, we are Violet and Antonio, and we do legacy media solutions. Antonio handles more of that now, but we did start it together. And then I actually help Manny in real estate. It's pretty fun, pretty awesome. And I guess we're talking about doing things together. So we've been in several business ventures together, and I think the legacy media one has been the funnest, but yeah, there's a lot of up and downs doing it together.
Some
'Cause-
horror stories, for sure.
Yeah, because both of you want to be the boss.
Okay, so
For sure.
you're looking at 2 alphas.
Yeah, for sure.
And
And-
we learned
and we-
the hard way.
We read a lot of books, like people skill books, but little do you know, you have to people skill your significant other.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about being in a relationship and in love. But a little bit about the background too,
Yeah.
like she was saying, is I met her wanting to be a lawyer. And she
yeah.
was the busiest girl I have ever seen. And
Here in El Paso?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She was maybe only sleeping 1 or 2 hours. I love my sleep. I sleep a good 7-8 hours. So I would wake up and she would be, oh, I did this and this and this. Things like I went to the swimming pool, I read, I worked by the time I got up. So she was destined to start a business, and then we started doing this together. We started doing a lot of different things.
Wait, you skip yourself.
I know, I didn't want to
Antonio's a
talk too
little-
much about myself.
Well,
'cause
I'll
it's
talk about
us.
you. He's really cute. So he's a business prodigy. Well, he is cute.
Keep going.
So at age 12, he actually started his own lawn mowing company, and
It was a huge company because I had 4 employees by the time I was like 15. Paid a truck cash. The most I made when I was 15 years old was $1,000 in one Saturday that I took home with me cash.
Really?
No
that's
taxes or
crazy.
anything.
Wait. He also used to
Gary Vee?
iron his money.
You
I made money.
Iron your money?
Yeah, his
It's
dollar
all-
bills. I know, right?
Okay, I was really money hungry back in the day. I was hardworking. I started that lawn company, and I would get some crinkly bills, and yeah, I would iron it.
Yeah,
You
but he was
took
a
care of
business
it.
prodigy. But I guess tying it into getting into business together, basically we're just workaholics, and first advice is always like date somebody that works just as much as you, because then
As ambitious as you.
what do you think?
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a very long introduction.
I know.
Yeah, I just needed your name and where you're born, and that's it. But you guys are going above.
It's
yeah.
true.
Just kidding.
Oh my god.
No, I'm just kidding. I feel like it's gonna be really hard for us to make this 30 minutes, but we're gonna try.
Yeah.
This is part.
But yeah, overall, I guess I'll tell you kind of how I met the Sosas, and this is probably the most ambitious and entrepreneurial minded couple that I've ever met, and they're young too. How old are you guys?
23.
She's about to be 24.
Why do you?
Her birthday's coming up.
Dang.
I'm 25. And thanks, so yeah.
Yeah, that was
Dang.
so sweet. Thanks.
Yeah.
I think we are too. That's why we have a good message to share. I think she's very, very unique, and we've been able to make a
What are you
relationship
talking about?
like amazing. She's the better half.
Thanks.
And we've been able to develop a relationship that we're starting to see, because I hope we don't come across arrogant at all, but we're starting to see that we have the best relationship out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've only maybe met one or two other couples in our whole lifetime that have maybe just as good, if not better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think at a young age. Well, first of all, I mean, I met Antonio
Yeah.
first, and we actually used to work at Verizon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And,
all those Verizon stories he talks about, I was right there. He started a month before I did.
Yeah, I believe so. So it was funny because my version of Sosa was basically, we hired him on, and he was a young kid. I think he was 18 years
I
old.
just turned 18.
And he was the youngest kid in our kiosk. It was at the mall. And this kiosk is the busiest store in the entire region. So there's a lot of people. It's always busy there. And Sosa comes on board, and right away after talking to him, I was like, dang, this kid's like on a different level. He was bringing books to work. And I'm like, how are you going to find time to read? And I'm looking at him, and everyone's looking at him like, what is he doing? Like, if he's going to have time to read. And he was legit there reading. Everyone was working on sales.
Oh my goodness.
It's a commission only based job. And he's over here reading books. And one day I told him, I was like, Sosa, like, what are you doing? Like, we're all commissioned, you're not gonna make money. And he's just there reading books. So then he recommends a book to me, which changed my life, Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh, wow.
And it kind of got me introduced into the entrepreneurial mindset. So you kind of started that little wave of that self-development in the next couple of years for me.
Wow, babe.
But it was that
He
book.
gives me too much credit. I was just reading a book.
I was just tripping because this kid's 18 years old, and you don't see that a lot, But they're very ambitious people, and the cool thing is that they were, first of all, lucky enough to meet each other, and then I was lucky enough to stay in contact with Sosa.
Oh, yeah.
Things lined up, and after some years of disconnect, reached out to me, and had some. How did you reach out to me?
I met him up in Miami actually one time, a year or two before you moved back.
Right.
Just because I knew you were in Miami, and I guess we only had that social media relationship.
Right.
And I saw that you went to Gary Vaynerchuk's Agent 2021, and it ties into where we started a restaurant meal prep company called SoFit, and then we didn't have a storefront, so we needed to really get good at social media marketing. So Violet bought a course, took the course, she became the marketing manager and killed it. We were doing a lot of good sales. And then we just realized we hated food, we hated the weekends. Because
I hated food, and I hated the weekend.
Yeah, she hated it, and then I slowly began to hate it, and then we both just hated it, and then
Gary Vaynerchuk was Manny.
yeah, and then so Gary V was a big factor because it instilled Manny's mindset too of like, I need to destroy the El Paso market better than anybody else. I need to find me a D-Rock, I need to find me like all these different things, and then we decided to close down one business and focus on social media marketing. That's the future, digital media. And that's why we're doing this podcast too, because people don't really watch TV at all. We haven't watched TV in years. And radio have commercials. There's just something different about a podcast. And Manny and I's mindset's just law of attraction. We met up again, which was awesome because he was reading books and we were growing. And then I called him up and he said, you know what, actually I was looking for somebody. We sat down at a Starbucks and
been working together since right?
then.
A little over a year.
A couple of weeks or a month after that, he started the podcast.
Yeah, so they've definitely been helping me with a lot. But you guys have kind of been little serial entrepreneurs, right? Or serial horrors. Or entrepreneurial horrors. Sounds bad.
That's a bad word.
That sounds really bad, but
Yeah.
should you call somebody that's
Yeah.
like cereal? That likes cereal.
I'm like, okay.
So where I'm going with that is you guys have obviously tried a lot of different things, right?
Right.
first of all got you guys in the direction, or what got you even interested in, 9 to 5 is not for me, I want to be my own boss type stuff? When did it start for you guys? When did it start for you? Because obviously you were already there when you met Sosa, right? You guys had already crossed those paths and kind of met up in the middle.
Yeah. Well, that's why I wanted to become... Well, actually, my dad was actually... he started investing like in different properties, and he was the one who had me read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So from there, I knew I wanted to be my own boss.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to work a 9 to 5. Like lawyers, you do kind of work 9 to 5, but you make your own schedule. I guess according... And so then I thought that was going to be like my business and the way that I got to practice entrepreneurship. But then, just from there, growing up, I knew that I wasn't going to do like a corporate job. I was always going to be self-employed in some way. So, yeah.
So the businesses go as follows to, I guess, the lawn care company, which really showed me that, and entrepreneurs watch this channel and people are aspiring to be, but a job for me was just not in the picture or in the question.
Yeah.
Having the success. And then we found a network marketing company that completely transformed our lives, completely transformed my life. The mentorship, the thought process, that was all there. We still do that. That's one of our main businesses, and it's going pretty strong.
I'm also pro network marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we touched base in Miami, and I was also in network marketing. And I feel that that's given me so many different characteristics and skills that I need in real estate, and I use 100% daily. Daily. The daily follow-up that we do is like that's what I did every single day.
Oh wow.
It's just network marketing. We strongly recommend it. Grant Cardone recommends it. It's just a very powerful thing that can help you add another stream of income. But most importantly, teach you that mindset. And that's where we met. She had the same mindset. We met at one of our business meetings, and it was awesome because it was an instant match.
Mentor.
I was supposed to be her mentor, so she came into my team, and I'm like, she needs some private one-on-one coaching.
Damn.
And so, just I'm not that guy though that just takes a pretty lady and comes to my team. I wasn't that guy.
All of a sudden.
Because I actually wasn't. I was gonna be very slow. She kind of started coming on to me a little bit.
Okay, whatever. It was mutual though.
She texted me first.
I
you
did.
to figure this out.
You kissed me first.
We actually are announcing something at the end that is off air. But I guess to say that we did that mentorship company, that URA, we still did that. We did a restaurant, the meal prep company, and then she kind of led in. Well, she definitely led into, hey, let's just do social media marketing. She also got most of our beginning clients too. Like, she was killing it. She was getting so many different things. I remember you pitching the dentist.
Yeah.
Remember that? Some different stories we'll share another time. But from there, that's where we met Manny. And Manny's very successful himself. He's a top realtor. And we realized, you know what? We should probably start doing real estate too. So
I remember that conversation.
So Violet's working with Manny, selling houses. They're killing it. I'm going to join them here pretty soon in real estate. It's just a great vehicle, guys. It truly is. But here's the biggest thing. The same success principles apply, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
It's not like real estate's a magic pill.
No, real estate's just like starting your own business. It's essentially the same tools that you need in every type of business, right? So what do you guys think are some of the top tools or skills that you need in order for you to run a successful business?
I would say number 1, people skills. I don't think you're in the selling houses business. You're in a people business.
Right.
Because if you don't have people, you don't sell houses. So people skills and systems. I think that's something that we always talk about, but it's just challenging to execute. But I think those two things.
About that too.
Systems and people skills, I feel like, are the top 2 things, because if you really want to make that extra step of income, you need to have systems and where people can follow. And
what's one example of a business that systematically is doing it right?
McDonald's. Yeah, it's the ultimate system and franchise. Just like you always know that the restrooms are on the right. You always know that the Big Mac is a number 1. Like, it's just a fine-tuned system where you could put a teenager in there and they can work their business.
Right.
And they're not all about like keeping all of the money. They're about like keeping a percentage, but having many franchises. And even if it's a smaller percentage, it's residual income because you have a piece of everything.
Right, and
Yeah.
volume.
And volume, yeah.
If one person just really understands that difference,
Mm-hmm.
it will mean the difference between you being owned by your business and you actually owning a business that serves your life. So she's explaining that ultimate system that McDonald's pioneered. And just to sum it up in 3 words, and again, we're saying this just to hopefully help anybody, but there's the entrepreneur, manager, and technician in all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Your goal is to be more of the entrepreneur and do the entrepreneurial work, not the technical work. And we're quoting essentially a book called The E-Myth, something that we're in the middle of practicing every day, but that is probably the number 1 tip or attribute is, I think that boils down to seek out what you don't know.
You're
If you're just doing the work of the business, you're always going to be in a hamster wheel. But if you're working on the business and learning from really big systems, standing on their shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing that, you're gonna have a much different time with business. And it took us a long time to figure that out.
Celso's about to get blind.
I know, thanks. He's helping me out there. The sun was just creeping over the cloud. Was
And
just
that happened to me
see it?
yesterday. I was writing up an offer right there, and I'm talking to people, and I'm like, yeah, so do you guys want to...
So scripting.
It was a big family. It was the
Yeah.
daughter, the mom, the dad, and the cousin. And the dad saw me, and I was just like talking like this, and he just went over.
Closes it.
So I see it, and I'm like, oh,
thanks.
like, thank you.
God.
I can see now.
Oh my gosh.
No, but that's true. I mean, those essentially are the things that you kind of need, right? So, what would you say in these trial and errors or in these lessons that you kind of have gone through, each of you?
Yeah.
What would you guys say is your biggest lesson to date when it comes down to, something that you had to learn maybe the hard way?
Ooh. You wanna go?
I think you have a really good lesson for that one.
Me?
You falling off the bike.
No.
I think that was a big business lesson.
No.
Because we were okay. Here's. I think after I say
business
this,
lesson. Like,
I think she will actually agree with this if I say it.
No, but like in the business, right? Like we're working together, or like.
Like
The biggest lesson in our errors, right?
Yeah, like I mean, you've started these different businesses,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What is one lesson that you've learned along the way?
Yeah. So for sure, you don't need that much money to start a business.
Yeah.
Like we spent almost hundreds of thousands of dollars starting these businesses that we're still in debt with. But
Hundreds of what?
thousands of dollars, almost like almost.
It was like
100,000.
110 somewhere on there.
And then
You knew the accounting better.
Yeah, I did. It was about
It's not
110.
110, hundreds.
Sorry, okay, hundreds.
Hundreds.
It's
110,000.
Okay.
Hundreds of thousands.
$200,000.
You think so?
Yeah, I do because your mom. Well, oops.
Just something we could talk.
Yeah, my mom was the main investor. She had really good
But
money.
we can't put this because I don't want her to know that I'm talking about her finances.
Okay, so
But anyways, you don't need that much more, and you were even telling me today.
You want me to edit
We're gonna edit that. Yeah.
Okay.
No, keep that on.
Wait, hold on.
Edit.
No.
This is a legit serious edit. You want me to get
Okay,
that?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you don't need that much money to begin a business.
How were we?
Sorry.
We didn't just edit something out of the podcast, guys.
We didn't. That's why.
We didn't.
How about me go first on this one?
But I
See
think
if you
that's what
agree.
it is. Okay, I'll listen.
Each of you have your own opinion.
That's
But I think
true.
she's
I wanna
gonna agree
hear
with
two.
this one because this is the
I want to hear
centerpiece.
two. Go.
This is the centerpiece.
Two. I wanna
Okay,
hear two.
so this is the biggest lesson that we've learned from failures and mistakes is to not do things for the money, is to not do things because other people expect us to, not do things out of pressure or fear. We do it from a very solid place of fulfillment. One book single-handedly changed our life, which is The Power of Now, and everything that we do is building upon each other on a strong foundation. So I think that's the biggest lesson that people fall short on, is they do things for the wrong reasons.
Mhm.
They don't do them authentically, and I think she was going to be very successful, highly driven, very successful no matter what she did. I was talking about how the bike accident was your biggest life-changing lesson because it took you from kind of a fake path
Oh, okay.
to an authentic path. And if you can, there's a lot of things that go into being truly authentic, because that was my mistake too. I was doing SoFit, and I was doing a lot of things for the totally wrong reasons. Now we have a clearer
Was
vision.
it to please other people or to kind of look good to other
Yeah,
people?
it was because of my own ego. I wanted it.
Would you say a lot more social media, or was this kind of like a family thing or a friend type thing?
Well, I did hire a lot of family, but it was a mistake because I was doing it for the money. And then a good example is Grown Together. They're doing things really solid. Like they want to impact and change the world.
We didn't have purpose in
We
the
didn't have
business
purpose
model.
because I myself didn't know my purpose, and I didn't know myself what was real and what wasn't. And then I know it's changed your life completely too. And that's kind of everything that we do is it builds on our foundation of we are blissfully happy. We have something that we want to share, and we want to share it with the world. What do you think? Is that something that is
So
that
that's a good.
the most
That's a good.
important?
What's your opinion? Go,
What do you think?
go. Just say what you think.
Well, I do think that you're right. I think that from it coming from a foundation of value and giving. And another thing I think people really need to know is that just do it and don't think about like the opinions of others, and don't care about the money, because the money will come no matter what.
Yeah.
And they say that all the time everywhere. It's like it's not about the money, but truly we have, and we'll share one or two things that we have went as low as we can go financially.
Yeah.
And we have been pretty high financially. That our relationship too. That's probably one of the other biggest lessons. And these aren't like technical business lessons, but our relationship is the most important thing. And I'm kind of referring to what Tom Bilyeu says.
Yeah, I agree.
Great show called Impact Theory, is that there's core values, and this is the most important thing that we've learned is we've figured out our core values, and we don't compromise on them. And what I was referring to originally was that lesson where he said this guy he was gonna get bought out, like they were gonna pay him a lot of money, but he just hated what he was doing. It was a software company.
Yeah.
And he was gonna leave all the money on the table, but at least he gets to feel like, okay, I have me again, because he was selling his soul essentially. And then he says, hey, we can do the business without you, but we'd rather do it with you. Come on board, let's figure out what we should do instead. Because they were literally just doing a software company. You can make a lot of money in software just for the money.
Yeah.
And then they created a nutrition quest bar, a beautifully tasting nutrition bar. And they made this huge $1 billion company because they love nutrition. They wanted to impact the world through people's lives that way. He was absolutely happy, and he comes from that solid place. And that's why I was thinking that was the biggest lesson. The second biggest lesson was our relationship. All the businesses can just be cleared off the table if it means that it has to be her or the businesses. She can say, hey, let's cut it all off. No ambition, no, like, this is bad for my mental health. Let's just do something different. I wouldn't hesitate. We found that our relationship is by far the most valuable thing in our life. And if you're owning a business, if you're structuring your business and your relationships aren't there, that's not something you do later. The huge house, we talked about it, the huge house, but it's empty and dead and is not what our life is about.
Right.
The biggest two things is working on our purpose and from a solid, strong foundation. And the second thing is making sure we are always first. Not business or providing. Like, we have lived in the ghetto. We've lived in the ghetto, but we were together. And that for us is what our message is to instill too, is our message is to teach people that, yes, the Gary Vee, Grant Cardone generation of entrepreneurship and hustle is really important, but everybody knows that what good is all that money when you're a terrible person? What good is all that money when you don't have those relationships? Right. So people really know that, but they're forgetting about it. And I think that's going to be a big part of our message. The two biggest lessons that we preach about, not really preach, but that we want to start advocating for is check your relationships. Ask your significant other. How's your love language? How's your love tank? What should I be doing better?
Yeah.
Because when your foundation is strong with your significant other, that's why if you read this book called Think and Grow Rich, talked about how every really great person in history had a very strong significant other right next to them, right behind them. Presidents, titans of industries. It's just proven. Because ask yourself, would I want to have all those things and have a terrible relationship? Of course not. happy wife, they say happy life. But why not you be happy too together?
Mm-hmm.
So that for sure is, I don't know, what do you think? Is that our top 2 main lessons?
Yeah, for sure.
You've taught me a lot about relationships, right?
Yeah.
So talking about relationships, this is going somewhere else. Talking about relationships.
That's the biggest 2.
No, yeah. But
Conversations.
I agree. I think overall you guys have kind of figured it out as far as that, because that's something that I also learned too, and I could kind of agree with.
Yeah.
As far as like the money thing, chasing it or doing it with the wrong intention is wrong, because at the end of the day, no amount of money is ever going to be enough if that's what you're chasing.
Yeah.
You know. So I've been at that point too, where I've realized that, and it's like shit. Like when you do things with the intention of being happy and what makes you happy, and then money, and my favorite quote is, money follows, it doesn't lead.
I like that one too.
Yeah, I made that up. When you
Did you really?
yeah, when you
I
go,
never heard it before.
yeah,
It is yours.
Yeah.
It's badass.
So when you do that, money literally does follow though. Like when you're doing things that make you happy, and when I say money, it doesn't mean $1 million either. It means the amount that it's gonna take for you to be happy, for you to do the things you want, right? So I completely agree with you guys. And as far as relationship goes, I think you guys have definitely been at a point where you both know that you guys are really busy.
Yeah.
Right? And that's something that you obviously established from the very beginning. But going forward into, where you guys are right now, we have Legacy Media, you're doing the real estate as well. You're eventually going to do the real estate as well. But how important do you think
That pause
it
right
is?
there, sorry to cut your momentum off, but the camera's gonna turn.
Is it?
Yeah, you had a really good, nice long pause on the how.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to kill that flow,
Okay.
but we caught a break. Do the clippity. Would you not agree that's like our top 2 main things?
Yeah, for
It
sure.
is, right? Our relationship. and-
Yes.
Come in. It's because you're about to say
You
something
guys
about
were trying to
not
do
that much money.
talk, so you should have talked. You guys are trying to figure things out on camera. I'm just like, we're gonna have to do small edits. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I was like,
No, man, it also doesn't have to be so like perfect.
No, I know. You actually don't, but I'm just saying time wise.
Oh, okay, time.
But I do want to talk about what's next. So,
Okay.
where did I leave off?
How? You want me to play it?
No.
You were asking us relationship,
Okay.
like we've both gone
You can
into,
change
like,
the question too, because I
Okay.
can piece it. Just start off with how and then do a long pause.
Okay.
Stop, set, go.
I say how so for editing purposes. I don't have. to
Yeah,
start
it might
with how.
help out. It might help out.
I don't
So,
have to start with how though.
say how, pause, think about it, and then start your question.
Okay. How?
That was weird, man.
So talking about relationships.
Yes.
What is next for the Sosas?
Tell them, babe. Tell them.
Yeah, right. So we both want to become real estate agents, and we want to be part of Manny's team, or just be a team in general. We definitely live by the values that you don't win by trying to bring people down. You win by picking people up, and so Manny has done a lot for us, which we're really grateful for. So we just want to pay back by being real estate agents and being really good at it, so he could profit off of it too. And we're not I don't think we're selfish. I think we really do come from a place of abundance and teamwork and working together. So we are definitely excited about that, because we do not like being employed. Fortunately for me, I work with Manny, and I think we work really well together.
Yeah, I think overall chemistry between us three is really good.
But now we want him to be a real estate agent too, which I think he'll be great at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's what we're gonna do is build a team. We definitely feel like Manny separated. Would you not agree? Manny separated himself from El Paso, left everybody in the dust. People started copying him.
Comment if you do. If you don't, comment.
Y'all realtors watching, you're watching. So we're just gonna add more momentum to that because we discovered he's really visionary. He's really good with that, all those ideas. But he needs the management, which Violet's really detail oriented. I also have the entrepreneur vision as well, but I'm working on the management and whatever I'm good at too. Execution. So I think we'll really be able to build a team that dominates. And we're just pumped up. We're continuing to do our mentorship. You know, our what we call an online franchise that we still build. We're gonna blow that up really huge and still keep doing the social media marketing because that's like the new gold rush right now. The land grab is what we used to say all last year.
For sure. So why marketing? Why, you know, why marketing? Why target that? Why go with that route?
Yeah.
And what do you see with marketing as far as future? Where do you see marketing in the next 5 to 7 years?
Yeah. So
why marketing? Where do you see it?
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Two-part question.
Why marketing? If you guys really look at the polls of Donald Trump, he only won because he was on Twitter and nobody else was. That's when I realized that social media is fucking powerful. Yeah, he only won the presidency because of his Twitter and his
maybe only the people that vote
millennials
have Twitter.
Millennials. Yeah, he got the most turnout for millennials because he was on Twitter. So that's when I realized like marketing, it's not going away. And you can do a lot of powerful stuff with marketing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that really fills both of our entrepreneurial spirit. Like I like doing the creation part of it. Like I really like playing with the post and like seeing what people like and connecting with the customers and managing the money. And I feel like this is something we both really like doing.
The money.
Yeah. The money.
Yeah. Just everybody knows that social media is where it's at. Not just social media too, but this device controls our life too. It's literally like magic.
This is an iPhone 5. People.
It's time to upgrade.
This is my phone.
Did you know they're coming out with that design too? For the iPhone 11.
He said I'm ahead of the game, and I'm really ahead of the game.
You're looking at iPhone 11.
I've been using this phone to run my business.
I told him to update.
I'm not doing this because I have no choice. I really legit like this phone.
That is so
Yeah, so the future is watch a show called Black Mirror. You know which episode I'm talking about? Yeah, so Black Mirror, there's an episode that everything revolves around your social status and how many, I think like 10 out of 10 or 5 out of 5 stars you are.
Yeah, like
that show. That episode is
You've
insane.
seen it?
You watched it?
I've seen it.
Right?
Y'all need to watch that if you haven't. But
She couldn't even get into a nice apartment complex.
Unless her star rating was a 4.9.
But isn't that what social media is?
It is,
like,
yeah.
It's like the approval rating.
Yeah.
And you know what? One thing that we're big fans of Gary Vee, but one thing that he said in his first conference for Agent 2021 was, you know, when you're gonna post something, and you write it and you get the picture, and you're about to hit share and you read it and you're like, oh, that sounds dumb. And, you delete everything and then you restructure everything. Well, that's what's wrong with what we're doing is we're not posting and we're not doing what we want to do. We're not doing and being ourselves. We're trying to fix ourselves in society's little mold, right? So that's what is kind of crazy with society. And then you see Black Mirror in that episode.
It's really going that
route. That could be the future.
Imagine. Yeah. I think it is. Yeah.
What do you think?
It's the future.
Oh, I want you to share some more, but because I wanted to say that Gary Vee's quote too that you were saying is like everybody thinks about and you're self-conscious of posting.
Yeah.
Y'all think about posting it and I just post it. That's the difference between you and me.
So why marketing for you?
I think in the future is going to be like that episode of Black Mirror. There was a Casey Neistat talking about a model couldn't apply to some modeling agencies unless they had like 30K in their following. They couldn't even apply unless you had 30K. So you say this all the time, babe, that your net worth is your network. If you have a large personal brand, we could be selling Topo Chico, wine, or pillows, cotton candy. We could sell whatever. But if you have 3 million loyal followers,
they'll buy it.
And it's not about the money or just selling your audience. It's about that relationship you build with them.
And the attention. Who has the most attention, right?
And that's what the land grab is right now.
Yeah. Donald Trump got the most attention on Twitter. Yeah.
That's what the land grab is. So it's going to be a combination of what that episode is, like from Black Mirror, that you have those contact lenses and you can see everybody's profile. And then it was funny, they're in the elevator, and she was with somebody that she hadn't seen in a while. So when they're in the elevator, they had like both a quick awkward moment of silence.
Yeah, like they're looking each other up.
Yeah, like, okay, let me see the last
like 10
posts. Just catch up on your life.
Yeah, they're like,
and
hey,
then
how's...
speak.
Yeah.
Hey, how's the cat? Oh, that's a really cool thing we saw in the sink.
And it's all fake, right?
Yeah.
They were being fake. But what Gary Vee's coming from, though, is an authentic place. Is let's not filter. Like, even me, this right now is my business mode, and I'm working on being authentic.
Yeah.
She hates it when I get like this, by the way.
It's okay, baby.
She hates it when I get like this. I get into my sales. And maybe that is a part of me, though, is that promotion. But I need to integrate with who I really am.
Yeah.
That prevents me from, should I post that? Should I do a story?
Mm-hmm.
You know? So Gary Vee's coming from, who gives a shit who is watching you? You need to just do you. Because that is the only person you'll connect with, is the you doing you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we got to this point because we have a special announcement, right? Today is the first day
of our podcast.
Oh my god, you guys scared me.
That's not hard to do at all.
No,
it's not.
I think it's so scared for everything.
She's scared at the house.
She's dramatic.
No, he's
I walk
dramatic.
into the office making all this noise.
He's like,
I come behind her and I'm just like, ah!
Oh my god!
We'll be in the car. Literally, like, she's on her phone and I'm driving and I'm just like,
and I'm like, oh shit. If you guys have ever driven with him, you'll know why.
It's a heart attack on wheels for sure.
Yes. Oh, that's really good.
Oh,
that was
heart attack on wheels.
I feel like you've been practicing it.
We've been waiting for this
Sorry, I used to
moment.
say that.
It drives the tourists.
Okay.
But I used to scare her all the time in the house. Like, do this. If you have a significant other and you live in the house at night, and she's, turning off the light, you guys are going to go to your bedroom, just stand there. Give her your back, stand there, and wait till she notices you. It might be a minute, it might be 30 seconds, but just stand there, and it's dark.
Hell yeah.
Every time I would scare her, it was so
Yeah,
funny.
it was so scary. But
You can try it out.
yeah.
Hell yeah, I am. No, that's super cool.
People killing, scaring each other across the country.
Yeah.
Scaring each other.
It's fun. It's super fun. So, obviously we talked a little bit about marketing. We talked about some entrepreneurship. Before we get into kind of wrapping up the podcast, what is one kind of thing or message? And then I want you guys to also talk about your handle and where people can find the podcast, because it's going to be uploaded today. Right?
Today.
Ah.
So, overall, what is that one message that you guys are trying to deliver with your podcast? And what's that one message that you want to leave with our viewers here on
Oh my
Listening
god,
Wednesday?
man.
That's that one message, babe.
Yeah.
Why don't you start?
You do
always,
one and you do one.
Yeah, because you always put me on blast.
So you kind of heard it right now during our podcast. So it's going to be called the Pooks and Wooks podcast. Because we are very cheesy with our nicknames. There's a story for that too.
Yeah, because we weren't like that before.
We weren't.
Yeah.
And our podcast is about relationships. And we come from the perspective of also being in business together, which takes it to a whole other level when you have to work together.
Yeah.
Plus, we're both alphas. So that takes to another level of having to work and communicate together, because she just doesn't get pushed around. She's strong. She's amazing with speaking to other ladies and empowering other ladies. We are going to be talking about how to have a relationship with yourself and your significant other, and how to build the life that you want to live. We're always going to come from the lens of togetherness, because I could have been, she was even saying too earlier before this podcast, do it by yourself, go with men.
She just said that.
Yeah, she was.
She was.
But it's always about staying on the same page.
Oh,
When we first, our very first date, what triggered us being soulmates forever was we're on the same page. We said that since day one.
You guys both said the sales pitch at the same time. You just trying to sell me something? Yes, did you?
Yeah. Okay, something like that, but we're going to talk about all those things. Ladies, she will impact your life for sure, and we're just excited.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you want to say about it?
So, leaving this podcast, or kind of wrapping up the podcast, what's that one message that you have for our viewers?
Oh, okay.
Viewers.
Yeah. So I think he covered a lot about the relationship part, but I do think.
And what is the handle? You said
Pooks and Wooks.
Pooks.
We're gonna
Podcast.
Where could they find it? No, it's
Instagram
today.
Anchor. Oh yeah, it's coming out today, but I don't know the handle because I haven't made it yet.
Pooks and Wooks.
We record this a week in
Podcast.
advance. But it's gonna be Pooks and Wooks.
We're dropping it on this snippet. This is gonna be a snippet. This is a snippet.
Link in the bio. Link in the bio.
Okay. It's coming out today.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Right?
it is. It's coming out today for sure.
So, what message?
You-
You guys have a ton of knowledge, and I really want you guys to follow their podcast because this is a quick podcast. I feel like really our mornings when it's all three of us start
Oh
with
my God.
3 hours of talk, and then
It's
we work.
true, It's true.
So this mic could be on all night, but overall, you guys have a lot of value that I think people could get off of. Not just with entrepreneurship, business-wise, but also relationships. You guys are really smart, and I feel like you guys have a lot to kind of offer any type of couple or any
Yeah.
type of individual that's kind of maybe stuck. So definitely give them a follow. Make sure you guys follow them also on Instagram at
Pooks and Wooks.
Violet EP
_.
underscore
Antonio Sosa. Antonio Sosa. I need to come up with a cool name.
Sosa
Handle.
Antonio Sosa.
I couldn't think of anything. Everything was taken.
So these are where they're at right now. Just follow
That's where we're
that.
at right now.
It might change. Right?
Saying mine needs to change.
Okay, bye. So with that being said, Violet, what message do you have for our Whiskey Wednesday podcast viewers? And again, not everyone is in a relationship, right? Some of us are single. But there's other people that, maybe stuck in a rut, maybe do want to, start that business, but have, what Gary's talking about is that fear or care too much what people are talking about. So what message do you have for our viewers?
Yeah. So for sure, if you're an entrepreneur wanting to start a business, or you feel like you're creative and you feel like you could turn it into a business, just do it. And yeah, it's a cliche, but honestly, not a lot of people, like 98% of people won't really execute their dreams or what they truly want to do. And so it's just as simple as that, and execute and be patient.
Yeah, I agree 100%. We've even talked about that just by doing it.
Yeah.
Just by another couple doing their podcast made us really start doing episodes our own. Huh?
Yeah.
So doing it and being that example for someone else to do it too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then the last thing for sure, one of my favorite quotes from, I think it's Morgan Freeman. Don't remember the quote, but he says like, you don't win anything by playing small, so shine your light. So basically, it doesn't serve anybody for you to keep your own talents to yourself.
Right.
And that really hit me because I felt like I was really insecure about a lot of the talents that I had, but just going out there and doing what you need to do.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
So this, I feel, is going to be one of the hardest questions I'm going to ask you guys, but I'm going to ask you guys what I always ask at the end of the podcast.
Oh, it's quick and easy.
Yeah,
But
not the first question. So what we're going to talk about now is so obviously we love El Paso. You guys share the same passion as I do for the city. We see it growing. It's crazy. It's amazing to be part of. But a lot of things are happening right now in the city, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, what are your favorite places to eat? What's your favorite place? One place.
Well, it's different for you and me, but
Okay. Yeah. Each of you have your own answer for this.
Okay.
Favorite place to eat, favorite place to hang out, and favorite place to celebrate.
Okay, to eat, Cafe Italia. To hang out, I think Whole Foods. Well, or Almo Jatas. And then to celebrate, anywhere food. So, Anton 11, we like that one. Cafe Italia again. We like to celebrate with
we
food.
revolve around
Cafe
food,
Italia. That's why I laughed, because I felt like you guys were not going to come down to one restaurant.
Yeah, okay, there. But to celebrate.
To eat, for sure, our favorite place. I think we love to hang out more. It's both, man. Cafe Italia.
We celebrate with
It is that amazing, huh?
It's because you could take your wine, you take your own alcohol.
Okay, so to eat, I'm going to say Cafe Italia. To hang out, we do love the movies.
Okay.
We don't really go out and party too much, so we just watch movies. We're like really good movie critics. We pick good movies. And What was the last one?
To celebrate was Cafe Italia.
Oh yeah. That's kind of boring. We love some local El Paso restaurants like Crave, Steve-O's. I'm gonna give you a couple just because that was all boring, but that tells you that Cafe Italia is the top. It tells you that Cafe Italia has
If
something
you guys
special.
want to find them, go to Cafe
I
Italia.
don't go as much anymore,
Most likely
but it's a
that-
special place.
It's true.
Yeah. What's your favorite place to shop?
On next Sunday.
You knew that question for me.
I know.
I actually really like finding stuff at.
I'm actually wearing Onyx Sunday.
I just go to Banana
Shout out.
Republic
Shout
right
out.
now, so I need to step my dress game up too.
No, you look good, man. You look sharp.
Aww.
You look sharp.
Thanks.
Guys, make sure to follow the Sosas on IG and make sure you guys look out for their podcast. What's the name of your podcast?
The Pooks and Books podcast show.
Dropping today. I'm super excited to see where you guys, go. I feel like you guys just have so much ahead of you, and I feel like you guys are really going to be successful and go above all the goals that you even have right now. I really feel that because you guys are kind of just a rare breed. And
Yeah.
I say that like they're weird, but they're not weird. It's just you don't see this too much. You don't see this kind of power couple in the making. So super excited to see where you guys go. Super excited to see you guys in the next couple of years get your license
Right.
and kill it in the real estate game too. And super excited for this podcast. I think you guys again have a lot of value and a lot of knowledge and golden nuggets for people to take and really utilize.
This wine's pretty good.
Utilize in their lives and really give some value too. So
Thanks.
really excited for you guys to drop. Make sure you guys tune in every single Wednesday where we drop episodes like this and sit with entrepreneurs, influencers, movers, and shakers just like the Sosas. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Make sure you guys tune in.
Thanks.
Bye.